Welcome back, V.O.C. YouTube channel. NFL Week 3 in the books, right? Yep. So now, from Tyler's video, you can tell what do we know after 3 weeks of the NFL season. Not a whole lot, but I think we have an idea of who is Super Bowl teams and who are not. So that's what I'm going to go through today, go through my picks. Still, there's not a lot to sit and harp on. I don't think there's a lot of headlines. The games there's been some shockers. Last week there were some shockers, but nothing, I don't think, a lot of outliers yet. A lot of treading still going on as we try to figure this season out as it is still young. So let's jump into it. So who can win the Super Bowl and who can't? So I'm going to break down the teams I believe can win the Super Bowl. I think there's 9 teams in the NFL that everything goes right for them, they can win the Super Bowl. They're talented enough, they have the right pieces, right coaching, whatever it is. So I'm going to start out with the AFC first. Look, I think the Dolphins can win the Super Bowl. They're 3-0. Their defense is very, very good. We've seen that against the Bills, doing what they did to contain them enough to be able to win the game. A lot of that, had to do, I think, with the Miami Heat, but that's an advantage that they have as a good team. They have a lot of weapons on offense. Tua has been balling out, playing extremely well. Waddle, Tyreek Hill, arguably you can make an argument at this point, best 1-2 punch. Mike Gesicki at tight end. Their offensive line's much better. They have running backs. They have talent. They have weapons. They're very good. I believe they can win the Super Bowl. I think Mike McDaniels has given them a swag, an excitement that they haven't had before in Miami. So I think the Dolphins are very good and a team that can definitely win the Super Bowl with Tua. All right. This one's going to be a little bit of a shocker, but I think the Browns, but with Deshaun Watson. So Deshaun Watson comes back, week 11, 12-ish. So they're 2-1 right now. They have great talent on both sides of the ball. Their defense is loaded. Their offense, 2 great running backs, really good tight end. Offensive line is very good. The only thing you wish to see with them is maybe another wide receiver, but if Amari Cooper stays healthy, keeps dominating, balling out, they're going to be very good. The Cowboys, in my opinion, look like idiots for getting rid of Amari Cooper, but it is what it is. Amari Cooper helps quarterbacks. He's helped Jacoby Brissett get them to 2-1, and he's only going to help Deshaun Watson when he comes back. The next one is easy. What the fuck's on me? Next one's easy. Clearly the Bills. Bills, yeah, they lost to Miami. Dolphins are a very good football team. They have a top 2 quarterback, top 5 defense when they're fully healthy. I know they have some injuries. They lose Micah Hyde for the year. But when you get Poyer, you get some other pieces back on defense. They're still very good. Stephon Diggs, the offense is still very good. So I've said before, I thought the Bills could go undefeated. Jinxed them last week. Look, this is only going to make them ball out even more as the season goes on. The next team in the AFC is the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, defensive pieces. That's all I have to say. Lamar Jackson is in a contract year. He's balling out. He's proving, look, you should give me the Deshaun Watson guaranteed money. I won an MVP. I've won, I think, over 70-something% of his games. He's a very good, highly used weapon. So he knew what his worth was. And so he looks at it and goes, I'm just going to fucking show you guys what I can do. And then you're going to have to pay me at the end of the year. And then the last team that I'm most certain can win the Super Bowl is the Chiefs. Look, 2-1. They lose to the Colts. Colts are a talented team. You have those losses. You can't win them all. Mahomes, Reed, very underrated defense, underrated weapons still. They're only going to get better as the season goes on. Easy, easy, easy. So that is my, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finishes in the AFC. Like, boom. That team can win the Super Bowl. About 6 maybe are the Chargers. Not fully keen on the Chargers. They just get dominated by the young Jags. Brandon Staley. It feels like it's systematic problems when it comes to the Chargers. Even like when Phillip Rivers and them were here 10, 15 years ago, we were like, man, they're so talented, so much talent, they can't win. Everybody thought Brandon Staley, I even thought maybe he can change it. So the Chargers are an outlier. I don't fully know yet. Herbert's not fully healthy. He's playing, but not fully healthy. I'd like to see it. All right, and then into the NFC. Not as many teams, only 4 teams. I think it's pretty clear of the teams that can win into the NFC. First team's Eagles. Look, 3-0. They're the most complete team in the NFC. You can make an argument that their defense is the best defense in the NFC. You can make an argument they have the best offensive line in the NFL. You can make an argument their offensive weapons are the best in the NFC. The only outliers with them is Jalen Hurts. How good can Jalen Hurts be? He's been very, very good so far for the first 3 weeks. He continues this play. The Eagles might ride off with the Lombardi Trophy in Arizona in February. That's how good their team is. They have veteran pieces. They have young pieces. It's all melded together. It's one of those. Nick Sirianni is. Everybody, was cuckoo about the pick, like I was, I was too. But man, really good team, very good organization. They have talent all over the place, and they're a team that I thought they were going to be really good coming into this year, but I didn't know that they could be this good. The Packers at 2-1. Look, they just beat the Bucks, depleted Bucks team on offense, but they beat them. They showed that they have offensive pieces without Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. And you're hoping their defense will get better. David Bakhtiari, is coming back, slowly moving back into it. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Tunyon. These young wide receivers are going to come on eventually, and they played very well this past week. Their defense is the outlier. Jair Alexander injured again. Can he continue? He's been injured the last couple of years. When he plays, he's a top 5 corner in the league. So it's interesting to see how that moves forward, but the Packers are still very good, and it's one of those where they're one of those franchises that it's kind of like the Patriots were with Tom, like 5, 6 years ago, where it's like, oh, they don't have this, and then they play, and it's like, oh, they're still good. Like, that's where the Packers are in that cycle, I think, where the Pats were a couple years ago, where like, you're like, oh, they don't, they got rid of this. Chiefs are in that cycle too, blah, 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 blah. Boom. They just keep turning out because they're that good. The third team is the Tampa Bay Bucks. Look, they're 2-1. They almost beat the Packers. Had chances to beat them. Without Mike Evans, without Godwin, without this, without that. A lot of injuries. They're only going to get better. Tom's only going to play better. The offense is not even uncapped what they can do yet because they've not fully played together. The defense is very talented. Like I said, I think it's them or the Eagles for the best defense in the NFC, talent-wise, and how they play is a different story, but they're going to get healthier, and easily they could win the Super Bowl. They've showed it before. And then the fourth and last team I think can win the Super Bowl in the NFL, the Rams. Look, 2-1. Still undefeated champs. I think when they got beat by Buffalo, everybody was like, oh, the Rams are done. And it's like, still have Stafford, still have Cup, still have Aaron Donald, still have Jalen Ramsey. They've added more pieces. They have a lot of talent all over the place. Sean McVay's still their coach. They're going to be just fine. 2-1. Just beat the Cardinals. Have a big game this week. They have all of the makings still to win one. And they're the defending champs. So, until they get knocked out, they still have a chance of winning it. I think those are the 9 teams that can win the Super Bowl. The other 23 teams in the NFL, better luck next year. This list will probably dwindle down as the season goes on, but right now I think it's the AFC's loaded. NFC's more like these are the final 4 teams I could see playing. To where the AFC it's a little bit more open, but I think we have a category of like, and there's different tiers, I think, of the AFC, this is like absolute could, really could, if everything goes right, could. But I just wanted to go through and as of right now, like looking at what we've seen so far, who can win, who can't. All right, now moving on to picks. 5-4 last week. That got me up to 500 on the season, 12-12. We're balling out of control as of late. I will take it. 2 winning weeks back to back. Getting some momentum. NFL games are hard to pick, especially when the Jaguars destroy the Chargers. All right, so I got my haircut, and like little hairs are everywhere. Everywhere. Needed a haircut. Finally got one. I feel back normal. I'm back. It's Britney, bitch. That's what I feel like. I am back. So hopefully, coming back to being the man with the fro and the stash, we can continue on this greatness. All right, Dolphins 3-0 at Bengals 1-2. Game tonight. Bengals are a 3.5-point favorite. I don't really get that. I do, and then I don't. Bengals have a lot of talent, but I think the Miami defense shows up tonight, and those playmakers on offense show up tonight. I like the Dolphins. Vikings 2-1. Come back to beat the Lions. They are 2.5-point favorites versus the Saints, who are 1-2. This is a London game. Very interesting game. Justin Jefferson played horrible last week. I expect him to have a big week this week. The Saints are clearly missing Sean Payton, which I said to start the season they would. They're not as good as they once were. Still have talent, but when your coaching changes, the 90s Cowboys talked about it. When they lost Jimmy Johnson, they lost something, even though they had the same talent. So I'm going to go Vikings here. This is a clear, Kirk Cousins can win this game at 9:30 in the morning. Not a lot of people will be watching, so he won't be as nervous. Titans 1-2 at Colts 1-1. Colts get their first win over the Chiefs last Sunday. Colts are a 3.5-point favorite. The Titans, to me, are not very good. They beat the Raiders, who aren't very good. Raiders have talent, but they're 0-3. Derrick Henry came back around. The Colts, I think, have talent, just always play down. But I think coming off the win against the Chiefs helps them move forward. And I like the Colts in this one. I think the Colts win. Jags 2-1 at Eagles 3-0. -6.5 for the Eagles. Jags are playing extremely well right now. Doug Peterson's got those young guys playing better than they know how. Doug Peterson going back to Philly to play this Eagles team who is very, very good, loaded. I think the Eagles win this game. I think it's close. I think the Jags stick around. I think the Jags are going to be a team that, I'm not saying they sneak into the playoffs, but they can be a lot better and play with teams. They're kind of going to be like the Lions. They're going to play with teams. I just don't know if they fully have enough talent to get over things. Bills 2-1, -3-point favorite at the Ravens, who are 2-1. I like the Bills in this game. Not much to really say. I am damn near every game this year. I think I'm going to pick the Bills. That's what it feels like. Chiefs 2-1 at Bucks 2-1. Hurricane did not wipe through Tampa as bad as they thought it was going to, so Tampa practiced in Miami this week to get away from the hurricane just in case that happened. So Tom ended up in Miami anyways to practice this year. So the game's still in Tampa. It's a toss-up. This is a tough game. I picked against Tom last week, which I usually don't do. But I'm going to pick against Tom this week too, and I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I just think the Bucks offense isn't fully there yet. They still need things to figure out. Mike Evans comes back this week. Is Godwin, so I think they have some pieces and things to figure out to where the Chiefs, I think they know what they are, and I think they're going to win. The Bucs are going to figure it out, but when you play these tough teams like this early in the year, when you're not fully weaponized and ready to go, it's going to be a while. It's not going to be a while, but it's going to be a struggle at least to start. But they're going to, by the end of the year, they're going to be really good. Last game, Rams 2-1 at 49ers 1-2, -1.5. I did not watch the full 49ers Broncos game where Jimmy Garoppolo did some stupid Jimmy Garoppolo shit going out the back end, because some people work and these days, so I can't always stay up late and act like a child and be immature. We have to get a little bit older in life. And some people go to bed a little bit earlier because they have to wake up early. So I didn't catch the game. I wouldn't have wanted to watch the game. I would have pulled my eye sockets out. So I'm going to go with here. I know the 49ers lose to the Broncos 2-1, but it feels like the Broncos are 0-3. This is a game at home that the Broncos win. Not the Broncos. That the 49ers win. So am I getting sick? That's a great question. I hope not. Pet peeve of getting sick. If I get sick, I'm going to be pissed. It's this weather change. That's what I'm going to blame it on. But I'm going to go for the Rams at 49ers. I'm going to go with the 49ers here. This is just a game that Kyle Shanahan wins. And it just feels like it's going to be a grimy, nasty game, and the 49ers are going to win it. So that's going to do it. Hopefully I'm not getting sick. I need some Kleenexes on me 24/7. That's going to do it for this week's video of the NFL. Going to get this one out today before the games start. Working, so you know it's a little tough. So yeah, that's who I think will win the Super Bowl. 9 teams, I think, have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Maybe a 10th with what we see what the Chargers do, but I don't fully know. And then my picks this week. Hopefully we stay on fire. I'm back with the hairdo. Back. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Boom.